Welcome to another video. In this video I'm gonna share with you guys my day trip to the island Symi. We did a day trip by ferry. So me and my boyfriend, we booked a ferry trip to this must-see Greek island. It's very beautiful, so we had to see it ourselves. We didn't know if this trip was going to be fully wheelchair accessible, but we took a chance. Early in the morning we took a taxi from our hotel to the monastery harbor. I had to enter the ferry by chairlift. So I did a transfer from my wheelchair to the chairlift, and the chairlift went all the way up. The trip from Rhodes Island to Symi is about 1.5 hours. So the boat has a bar, enough space, like different kinds of chairs to sit and relax. Like you can also buy snacks, and there are toilet facilities also for disabled people, so that was great. One thing that wasn't possible for wheelchair users like myself who cannot walk at all were like going upstairs to the deck where you actually have a view and you can sit outdoors. So that was kind of a bummer, but nonetheless it was a comfortable ride, and I could just sit in the main area, which also had a lot of windows. I do recommend visiting Symi Island, also for wheelchair users, but you have to keep in mind the island is not accessible at all. I have not found any facilities for wheelchair users, like toilet, no. So I had to be very creative at that point. We went early, also to avoid the bunch of tourists that take all these excursions. And it's very rich in history, so there's a lot to see, lots of buildings, beautiful streets, and just churches, and there's enough to see there. But there's also the rest of the island, so it's not just the harbor area. So there are a lot of mountains and hills. So most tourists just rent a scooter or a quad and they drive around. So as a wheelchair user, I cannot really do that. So me and my boyfriend, we rented a car, which was perfect because it was air conditioned and we could just drive around, you know, and stop wherever we wanted to see something. We have a car.
We have a car.
We're going on a mission. It's super hot outside, like really hot. So we just ran the car here and now we're going to go out. We are in a car because it's super hot outside. Many tourists rent scooters, and it's a very small island. There's not even 3,000 people live here. It's very beautiful. You do need some driving skills to drive around Symi. You should not be afraid of heights. We drove all the way to Panormitis port, that's known for its sacred monastery. According to Google Maps, it was about 30 minutes, but I think we did like more than an hour because we stopped along the way and we just took it very easy on the roads there. And we were not in a hurry. We had a couple of hours before we took the ferry back to Rhodes Island. The goats of Symi. The monastery is situated on the seafront of the tiny village of Panormitis on the southern coast, protected by a narrow inlet that opens out into a wide harbor and small empty beach. The 18th century monastery is a large building in Venetian style. It has some Baroque elements and the inner courtyard has a church which you can visit. There's also a small museum and it's not very wheelchair friendly because you can enter it to some degree, but there are few high thresholds and the little stones are not very comfortable to roll over. There is like a small bay. My boyfriend, he tried to swim a little bit to cool off. I was just sitting in the shadow. There is like a small bakery and I think a handful of restaurants in the area. But there is not much going on there besides the church. At the end of the day, we went back to the harbor of Symi. Then we just had a drink, just enjoyed the view because it's breathtaking. It's really nice. So if you get the chance to go there, definitely go there. Take lots of pictures. And yeah, there's so many shops and restaurants there in the area. I mean, I guess it's more fun if you can walk. And if you're a wheelchair user and you didn't bring any like assistance, it's gonna be hard, but it's worth it because you are on an island and it's a little bit of an adventure. There are quite a few beautiful beaches on Symi. We didn't have the time to explore them, but we drove just around the mountains and then go back to the Symi harbor because we wanted to catch the ferry on time. I wouldn't say it's very accessible in any way, but if you have a car and a little bit of help, you can still enjoy a day on this island. When we arrived back on Rose Island, we had to take a taxi back to our hotel, and by that time we were so hungry and tired. We ordered room service just to have a quiet evening because it was a very long day. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and sometimes here on YouTube I will post another video. So stay tuned for the next one because I have more to show you about my stay on the Greek island Rhodes.